Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all both home and the diaspora. This is the golden voice of the APC Encyclopeadia The Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow listeners, fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen all over the globe, as Ununo say, the encyclopedia always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone on daily happenings and on burning issues na mama salon. So when I stay tuned, when I stay fixed, when I stay blessed, when I stay connected to the encyclopedia media, for our listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. Today on Wednesday, the 16th of April, 2025. We topic today, ladies and gentlemen, we they talk about grandiosity, grandiose, pomposity, bagbati, kamu kamu, paupa, big shots, fellow Sierra Leoneans. We don't cause so many problems today in the Republic of Sierra Leone. Now we can talk about people of grandiosity, people of bagbati, people of pomposity, have Mahemba Bentingane, fellow Sierra Leoneans. If you're not to them, not there. Or if you're not, then they destroy. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, we audio today title When Generosity and Exaggerated Sense of Self-Importance and Enticement Rules a Nation. In our topic today. When generosity, when an exaggerated sense of self-importance they rule a nation, it will lead to a variety of negative consequences, where they include skewed perception of reality, a disregard for others, and potentially a climate of conflict and instability, unrest. Not good in that country, they fellow Sierra Leoneans. People they know they get peace of mind. Always na conflict, always na bombosoro, always na confusion, always na political instability. This now when grandiosity, an exaggerated sense of self-importance and entitlement rules a nation. But now we listen to all waiting we don't hide. To all waiting we be not know where God don't come with. He don't pull out the darkness, he don't come with to light for the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone. When I listen how Fatima Bio, the exposed former president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Hannes Maikoroma. Now listen, fellow Sierra Leoneans.
We sabi how much money you dey send for Adebayo. We sabi how you dey wait yourself. And the good thing, when una fit don go sit down fine, una don plan, una don arrange. Na among una step back, una dey comot, una can't tell mother bio. Now which kind mad people like this? Why you no go can't declare for SLPP no more let talk through? Therefore can't declare for SLPP. Because you yourself not say you don't want the APC win this election. And you don't do everything for the APC not win the election. Now you still they tell APC they say, una go yesterday una meeting na Makeni, we shall be everything una talk there. Now today una meeting na una office, we shall be everything una don't talk there. We dey wait for una Monday by God in power.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora, with the count with NTR for Lona go the listen, Lona no say, we not they engage in the media for propaganda, but anything where we talk, where they get evidence, where they get the truth, where they get the facts, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So when I don't get enough from the horse's mouth, fellow Sierra Leonean ladies and gentlemen, to all waiting happy in mama salon, you defend the needle, there's somebody mask the needle. You go the ton say they look for the needle, while other person massa, ladies and gentlemen. So fellow Sierra Leoneans, the only thing now the All People's Congress Party, we got to expose other people then. Now for come together and unite so that we go pull Sierra Leonean, the people of Sierra Leone, from this political bondage, from this political slavery. So we got to, ladies and gentlemen, big art, ego, pomposity, grandiosity. Now, in they make 8 million people and they suffer. So, Namama Salon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen. So, fellow Sierra Leoneans, when I listen carefully to the encyclopedia today, we they tell una waiting a grandiosity and waiting grandiosity they cause to a country, how they put a country behind, how they destroy a society, how they destroy a community, how they destroy a relationship, how they destroy everything. This not to the first, so fellow Sierra Leoneans, this not to the second, this not to the third, where Fatima Bio they make allegations against former President Nkrumah and the leadership of the All People's Congress Party.
Monday, not to Canarity. But one protect Samura one thing. Now, when time they can begin to any time on a hold on a knock meeting for make message when I go send to this country for put fear for people there. Una always the kind of man be office na net. Una all una video they against them. I go put all and una all na neck una knock member there. Una all when they na knock there. When the kind of we off na net. Una all una video and they can begin release one by one through the other corona. I think if we tell them about one day you know they talk to Madabio, one day you know they see Madabio, that night smoke will run like smoke for Ghana be money for Ghana. Now they can begin put on a video they level
Fellow Sierra Leonean ladies and gentlemen, this now how former President Nkrumah and the leadership of the All People's Congress Party entangled themselves to power bill. Now make them able to talk nothing today, but will they tell them say let them honest to themselves because all waiting they don't do. We sabi democracy don't turn mama's alone. All for the greedy and nothing for the needy. Be honest to ourselves, fellow Sierra Leoneans. Now I make all their audio there where they come, where they play unto Sierra Leoneans then. Let them see, say, we not the day for pull down elders then. We not there for pull down the leadership of the All People's Congress Party. But waiting them people we are don't do to the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very disheartening, fellow Sierra Leoneans, a formidable opposition political party where the people of Sierra Leone have open, where be seen at the political party where they can wipe tears. Now the people then, yeah. Now the political party don't stoop so low so today. Corrupt organization like this don't put all them people here into danger. They don't tie them pan corruption. They don't tie them. They're not able to shake again. Now make anything really happen in the country, they not get much for talk. But former President Nkrumah been talking, he say not to SLP people, SLP people. Now APC self-serve, now they undermine and destroy the APC.
See where they represent the APC, he got too many problems with the government. He get problems with the SLPP. Now I tell the person, I say, the problems we get, we don't get problems with the SLPP. We don't get problems with the government. We get problems with we self inside the APC. Now we self, they undermine we self. It shock you.
It not shock me. We don't see the reality today, ladies and gentlemen. So now we come out to the topic when grandiosity and exaggerated sense of self-importance and entitlement rules a nation. When grandiosity, when an exaggerated sense of self-importance, they rule a nation, they lead a nation to a variety of negative consequences, where they include skewed perception of reality, a disregard for others, and potentially a climate of conflict and instability. When I see the potential impact, where the impact on perception and reality, number one, na distorted view, grandiosity, bagbati, paupa, kamu, angburfane, ambentingane. It lead to a belief of one's own superiority and the inability for seeing things them from other than perspective. It leads to unrealistic expectation. A grandiose sense of self-importance, they lead to inflated expectation. And a belief, say, one is destined for greatness, potentially leading to disappointment and frustration when the expectation and they're not met. Lack of self-awareness, grandiosity, they hinder self-reflection and awareness. It make it difficult for recognize personal flaws and limitations. Now that we see to Sirena Salon, where God say, now 3 times they in humanity. Now may time this, may time not reach it, may time don't pass. Where time not reach it, it not reach it. Where time don't reach, it don't reach. Where time don't pass, it time don't pass. It the impact on relationship and social dynamics. How? Number one, now entitlement and exploitation. Grandiose individuals, and they feel entitled to privileges and resources, and they will be more likely for exploit others for their own gain. Number two, now difficulty with empathy. Grandiosity is often associated with a lack of empathy. It make it very difficult for understand or care about the needs and the feeling of others. And we see so today. Then they kill people in a salon. Then they torture people in a salon. People then they die of hunger, poverty, and starvation. Waiting and care about the social media where they blast them. Instead of they redeem the people of Sierra Leone from this political slavery, this political quagmire in a perpetual cycle. It leads to social isolation, wherein while grandiosity they initially lead to a desire for admiration and attention. People that with grandiosity, they always want to let they admire them. They always want to let all man pay attention to them, where they lead to social isolation and other than they find it difficult for relate to or tolerate grandiose behavior. Now it don't happen so today. The grandiose behavior don't expose. So all man they put more on it. How grandiosity they impact on leadership and governance. Number one, you get what we call dictatorial tendencies. Grandiosity they manifest in leadership as a desire of absolute control and a belief in somebody in own infallibility. What is that infallibility? Now the ability to say they know they ever make mistake, they're infallible, they without fault or weakness, incapable of error or fallacy, always they're certain, they're sure of themselves. This then called infallible or infallibility. Fellow Sierra Leonean ladies and gentlemen, grandiosity they lead to lack of accountability. Grandiose leaders then will be less inclined for take responsibility for their action, for accept criticism. They know they accept criticism, then they swell up, then feel say then I Mr. Know It All. Suppression of dissent. People that with grandiosity then focus on personal glory, where they lead to the suppression of dissent then. Anybody will go against them, then they suppress them, then they arrest them, then they jail them, then they go to more remand them for kill them. Ladies and gentlemen, and a reluctance for consider alternative perspective. Overall, when grandiosity they rule a nation, it creates a society wherein number one, the truth and objective reality, then they distort them. True no go in another country, reality not in another country. Then they see whites, then call them black. Individuals they need, then they sacrifice for the sake of grandiosity. Leadership they often characterized by arrogance and a lack of accountability. The potential for conflict and infallibility is the heighten or instability. Any country wherein they govern by grandiosity. These are the dangers when grandiosity they rule a nation. Grandiosity they refer to an unrealistic sense of superiority, where somebody they believes in self say a unique and better than everybody in the society. In psychology, grandiosity na a sense of superiority, a sense of uniqueness or invulnerability, way unrealistic and not based on personal capability. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all both home and the diaspora, waiting at the act of grandiose. Grandiosity, they refer to a sense of specialness and self-importance, where they lead you for boast about real or exaggerated accomplishments. Then they consider yourself more talented or intelligent than others in a society. Here they dismiss fellow Sierra Leoneans, everybody waiting they count. Ladies and gentlemen, the achievement of others. Now you no more, you want let the hear wait till they say if for be final, you want turn a demigod, let them worship you. This na the type of destructive leadership we don't destroy a nation today. For rule a country with grandiosity, with deception, with fake promises, with sugar-coated vibes, with braggadocious propaganda and propaganda. Wherein the reality on the ground is far-fetched, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. This na the other fake things that we they promise we in the country here and say then go give we affordable and uninterrupted electricity. A fake Ivory Coast life. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that they count Ivory Coast light for we. Now fake lights then count it. Then in tell we say bumbuna not they work. But now later we know say bumbuna na reality. Just for appease and deceive deceitfully and deceitfully them blind political bootlickers there. Today, fire destruction all over the place. We are unprecedented in the political history of Mama Salone. Indeed, this is not a new direction. They don't direct me to destruction, to calamity, and the devastation of the state independent democratic institutions there. Not the Republic of Mama Salone. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, today they execute the playbook of Papa Bio titled How to Destroy a Country, a book written in the United Kingdom by student Bio and Professor John David Francis, Faculty of Peace and Conflict Study in the United Kingdom. They left the peace in the United Kingdom and can execute the conflict in Mama Salone. Ladies and gentlemen, first, ladies and gentlemen, now the historic country of the Republic of Sierra Leone, within at the heart of the city of Freetown, the symbol of Sierra Leone from 1895, where they inaugurated in 1894, up to 120 something years in existence. Today, it don't go. Just from 2018 to 25. This is not a real cause. The Minister of Trade in June 2020, where invalid state documents were maliciously burnt down. Ladies and gentlemen, he commanded account to the Ministry of Social Welfare in 2019, part of the Electoral Commission office in the east of Freetown, just for bulldoze accountability. Even with farms there in the northern parts of the country, then continue for suffer unexplained perennial fire disasters at the Republic of Sierra Leone. The State House, when are we national seat of leadership, ladies and gentlemen, we don't get over 122 years. Now under the bureaucracy, the power, autocracy, state looters political party, it can caught on fire. Salima Moto, Otto Spears, also burned down with loss of life. Worst of it all, the 34 military hospital, one of the best military hospital in our time. The drugstore, lying gutted out with fire in the early hours of Tuesday, the 15th of April, 2025. We need an independent investigation for this dangerous fire disaster by international fire experts, ladies and gentlemen, and not this illegitimate regime. Ladies and gentlemen, just like I would do on the June 24, 2023 daylight electoral coup, then people, they're not going to ever investigate themselves. When I see the fake investigations the way they say they do, now the Republic of Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen, all the truth of the matter, they sweep under the carpet. The 49,000 bags of rice, we meant for the school feeding program, where the government of China sent to we. Now they so shape the rest they say they investigate cockroaches no kitchen. Fellow Sierra Leoneans. The Panama Road prison massacre, they said they investigate by themselves. No killer was brought to book. Instead, the killers were promoted. The August 10 Pauper State orchestrated massacre, a special investigation team was set, headed by the lawyer of Pauper Bio, when Emmanuel Safar Abdullah Esquire, we also double as the CEO for a civil society organization we call SDI, when a Society for Democratic Initiative. Nobody was brought to book because all the killers then belong to Pauper. Like Lawrence Lima, women they go house to house, if they break the moat them, pull northwestern at them, roots them from the houses there, slaughter them in cold blood, to they parade himself na the country with impunity. Ladies and gentlemen, for them they are above the law. But Pauper, when I bear in mind say, hangman can be hanged, even the executioner can be executed. 99 days for thief man, and 1 day for master house. ECSL then take all election results, all documents them, valuable documents about elections there, dig the ground, bury them just for distort evidence for the June 24, 2023 multi-tier elections. We get for all una accountable for declare a winner, conduct election, una announce a winner, 30 day, 2 years down the lane, no result. So waiting God talk about grandiosity in the Bible, he often portrayed as a form of pride or arrogance, a desire for excessive admiration and self-importance, where they lead or manifest as a boasting, a sense of superiority, and a lack of empathy for others. Pauper, shalom for better, today, now the opposite, now the contrary. Sierra Leoneans, then they suffer today. Ladies and gentlemen, then people have been tell we come 2018 say, Sierra Leoneans people, they don't deserve for suffer. Sierra Leoneans, they don't deserve for buy a bag of rice at 200,000 euros, just 60,000 euros in 2007. Today, how market? 5 bag of rice in 2018. Today, now 1 bag rice in the give under the bogus propaganda and grandiosity of a failed, corrupt, exploitative, tribalistic, and murderous regime. How market today, pauper, Mr. Talk and Fail. Grandiosity, a next to personality disorder. The Bible condemned the traits that were associated with grandiosity, backbiting, pauper, and arrogance and pride. The Quran condemn grandiosity and pauper. And God tell we, he say, Bada Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Only Subhanallahi wa ta'ala. Na in, na the mighty. Na in they say, let this be it be. Na God na in get pauper. No human being no they take the place of Allah. Now make God say inside the Holy Quran, he say, Inna amruhu ya rada shayan an yakulala kun fayakun. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, meaning the Almighty Allah, the all-powerful, where they command things therefore happen for a twinkling of an eye, it don't happen. Today we get a reckless, exploitative, corrupt, and murderous system where one for take the power of the Almighty God through grandiosity, kamu kamu, babati. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, TV demand they say, I'm bent Ghana, and you're funny. The negative aspects of grandiosity, when are pride and arrogance, self-importance, lack of empathy and entitlement. The biblical example, now the story of the king Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel, where it illustrates how pride and grandiosity they lead to a downfall. King Nebuchadnezzar in ego, inflated ego, now in lead with in help and power and the wealth we get. Eventually, now in lead to a downfall where he was humbled by God. The gospel show we how some people then, when they follow Jesus, when they do so partly out of desire for attention or to be seen as impressive rather than for form a genuine faith. The likes of Judah Iscariot, we sell Christ to his enemies then through a kiss for identify Christ. Not all kisses are genuine. The Holy Quran and the Holy Bible both emphasize about humility, when are the opposite of grandiosity. Humility they involve for recognize one in your dependence on God and others, and a willingness for serve and be of service. Jesus presented as a model of servant or servanthood, where we demonstrate the importance of humility and selflessness. Fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all. In summary, while grandiosity is served, not a term whether used in the Bible, the trait associated with it, short as pride, arrogance, and self-importance, they are condemned. The Bible encourages humility, empathy, and a focus on self-serving or serving others rather than forsake personal glory. Ladies and gentlemen, over 300 international fruitless traveling there in the name of laundering the country's image. Today, we're on the global map. The most corrupt country, now the sub-region. The second unhappiest country, now the world. The first in Africa, a country known for ammunition and drug trafficking. A country where conduct election as if Sierra Leone dey at war. At the end of the day, then declare a winner, 30 dey no result. A country where see killing innocent citizens there as a job. A country where they forcefully send their own citizens there to forceful exile in the name of democracy. A country where they celebrate political thieves then killers and tyrants then because of political, regional, and tribal connection. A country where they exploit your citizens for pay themselves on a bloated wage bill. All them things they are fellow Sierra Leoneans in the detail what we call where people then they rule a country with grandiosity. Lucifer or Satan, ladies and gentlemen, now in the anointed cherry, the most perfect creation where God ever make. In beauty, it been breathtaking. When I read the Bible and the adoring of jewels, where surround them, the Bible say God lifted her because of in beauty. He became vain and proud in his narcissism. He actually artists a scheme of the highest grandiosity. It is obey God. For bow down to Adam, he say, he know they prostrate to a dust, while God commanded all the angels them for prostrate and sujud to Adam, except Satan, when and Lucifer. The Quran talking about Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, inside Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 34, verse 2 to 34 in the Quran. He said, Wa izulna li malaikatu sujud Adam, fashadahu ila iblisa abba, wastakbaraha wa kana minal kafirin. When Allah said to the angel, prostrate before Adam, so they prostrated, except Iblis or Satan. He refused and was arrogant and became of the disbeliever. Satan waxed proud and joined the defiers. Satan was proud and disobedient as grandiosity. He demurred through pride and so became a disbeliever. Satan glorified his arrogance. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, King Pharaoh, God destroyed at the Red Sea because of pride, because of pomposity, because of grandiosity. Pharaoh declared himself as God. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, Inna Rabbokum la Allah. Inna the only God, no other God, no day. So both the Bible and the Holy Quran then condemn pride, condemn ego, arrogance, self-importance, and grandiosity. Any leader or ruler, where they rule with grandiosity, ego ultimately see in downfall. In James 4 verse 10 states, say, humble yourself before the Lord and he will lift you up. This verse they try to emphasize the importance of humility before God, promising that the one that will humble themselves will be exalted by in the Almighty Allah. Exaltation, God they lift them up, God they humble them, God they provide honor, purpose, and a better place for them inside God in kingdom. He also mentioned in Matthew 23 verse 12 and in Peter 5 verse 6, grandeur, grandiose, grandiosity, pride, ego, arrogance, self-importance, all them get here na satanic behavior. For the Quran say, ladies and gentlemen, in Allah, wa ilahi raji'un. Ladies and gentlemen, inna lillahi wa inna ilahi raji'un. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, from he we came and to him we shall return. And so God says, inna lillahi wa inna ilahi raji'un. The Bible confirms inside Genesis 3 verse 19. He said, by the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread until you return to the ground. For from it you were taken. For you are dust, and to dust you shall return. So why the pride? Why the hubris? Why the ego? Why the bagbati? Why the superbia? Why the grandeur and grandiosity created from a fluid, a droplet of water inside your mind womb? Today, you they enslave other people then because of stolen power. See inside Suratul Atari. Ladies and gentlemen, when at the night come out, where God say, Faliyalu insana mimma kolika mimma indafikin. You don't know, say God created you with a fluid, with a droplet of water inside your mama in womb. Today you make bagbati, bentingane, grandiosity, ladies and gentlemen. God, then people then they God say what he say fi hari jannama kalidina fi abadan. God they go burn them pan the blazing fire, the blazing jannama for everlasting. God they punish them and burn them now the fire. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 20 say, we all end up, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, we all end up in the same place. We all came from dust and we all end up as dust. All go unto one place when at the grave. All are of the dust and all turn to dust again. The Quran call human being as Adam, meaning dust. Why people did they get proud? Because God give them gentry, because God give them power. They feel say they're superior. Then they look on the miskina low. Then they punish the miskina then. Then they treat others them bad as slaves. Then they treat them as puppet because of the interest there. Ladies and gentlemen, now it makes some of people that will get power and some people that will reach. Ladies and gentlemen, they not go ever enter Aridana. They not go ever see the heavenly kingdom, as it is said in Matthew 19 verse 23 to 24. It is extremely difficult for the rich to embrace the radical call of discipleship in the kingdom of God. Inside Surah Al-Araf, when 7 verse 40, when the 7th chapter of the Holy Quran, titled The Height, fellow Sierra Leoneans, where consists of 206 verses, which is say, is inna lazina khasabu bi ayatina wastakbaru anhala tufatahu lahum abwabu samai wala yadkhuluna zinnatan jannatan hata yal yalizal jamalu fi samil kiyat wa kazalika nazil muzrimin. Indeed, the one they will deny with assistance and arrogance towards them, the gates of heaven nor will be open for them, nor will they enter paradise until a camel enters into the eye of a needle. Ladies and gentlemen, and this then go enter what we call the recompense of the criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, recompense of the criminal now for compensate the loss, the injury, or the harm caused by their crime, or as a form of punishment or retribution. Grandiosity, now the mother of all the following: arrogance, pride, ego, grandeur, domineering, superior, supercilious, masterful, pretentious, high and mighty, uppity, pompous, imperious, authoritarian, totalitarian, kleptocratic, kakistocratic, corrupt, dictatorship, tyranny, high-handed, boastful, bossy, impudent, pontifical, assumptive, cocky, bombastic, conceited, egocentric, narcissistic, swaggering, self-centered, egotistical, hubristic, braggy, top-liftical, self-assertive, prideful, self-complacent, proud, self-promoting, extroverted, self-flattering, unreserved, extroverted, brash, immodest, orgulous, self-solving, self-afflicted, self-destructive, stuck up, high, falutin, overbearing, made glorious, peremptory, blusterious, chesty, huffy, impertinent, and cavalier. This na the dangers, the calamity, the disaster, the catastrophe, the destruction, the devastation, the mayhem, the atrocities wey grandiosity, wey na an exaggerated sense of self-importance and entitlement dey rule a nation. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, I present to you the social political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party, the APC Encyclopedia.